Hello everyone, my name's Claire Pumphrey and I'm a Conservation Officer for Buglife in Scotland. Today I am going to be introducing the Beelines initiative and also the Strathmore Beelines project, which I'm currently working on, and just to let you know a little bit about how you can get involved. First of all, I just want to start by introducing Buglife for those of you that haven't heard about us. We are the only organisation in Europe concerned with the conservation of all invertebrates, and our aim is to halt invertebrate extinctions and achieve sustainable populations of invertebrates within the UK. Now, we do this in a number of ways. We do this through inspiring others by running different types of workshops and helping people get up and close with invertebrates. We do this through running practical conservation projects such as peatland restoration, but also our beelines projects, and I can tell you a bit more about that in a second. And also we do this through shaping policy. We have a particular focus on freshwater invertebrates and pollinating insects, and we have manifestos and strategies for both of these. It's our focus on pollinating insects which has led to the development of the Beelines initiative. Beelines are an imaginative solution to a big problem, which is the loss of wildflower-rich habitat within the UK. Beelines are a series of insect pathways along which we are restoring and creating wildflower-rich habitat stepping stones, and they link together existing wildlife areas to create a network which weaves across our landscape. The beelines are 3-kilometre wide corridors, and as I mentioned, they connect together the best remaining areas of wildflower-rich habitat, so things like our national nature reserves and local biodiversity sites. And it's been created to be a shared resource, so to help direct and focus the creation and restoration of flower-rich habitat to reverse pollinator declines. It's been a data-led process, but it has been guided by local expertise and knowledge. So when we came to mapping the beelines, we had already gathered a lot of data. So in Scotland, we were using things like the Habitat Maps for Scotland, and then we sat down with local authorities, landowners, and other NGOs to decide where these beelines should go in terms of connecting these areas. Looking at where there would be the least resistance of pollinators to move between the best remaining patches of wildflowers, but also where we could deliver on the ground works. And beelines have been developed so that anyone can contribute to them, whether that's taking part in volunteering when projects are running, or whether you want to use the area of a beeline to develop a project yourselves. Anyone can get involved. It's not something that we expect to be able to deliver all on our own. So even if you've created a little pollinator patch in your garden, you can go onto our website and you can enter in your details and enter your site onto our map, and then we'll start to see these dots and really see how these areas are starting to connect together. And this is what beelines look like. So on the right there, we've got the beelines for the whole of the UK, and on the left are Scotland beelines map. So the red lines are the beelines. And you can really start to imagine that once we are filling in these areas with wildflower-rich habitat, the movement that's going to create in our landscape for pollinating insects and other wildlife as well. Since completing the Beelines mapping, we've developed various different types of projects to deliver on the groundworks, and one of those is the Strathmore Beelines People and Pollinators in Strathmore project, which I'm currently working on. So this project is been set up to create a network for nature within Strathmore Valley and within the Beeline. And the project is engaging with local authorities, landowners, and the different communities along the route. Throughout the project, we're running informative and exciting workshops and different activities, and I'll tell you a bit more about this in a minute and how you can get involved. And we're also hoping to survey sites for pollinators before and after habitat enhancements and creation. The project is a 2-year delivery phase, so it started in April 2022 and it's running until March 2024. And then within this time frame, we're looking to create and restore up to 20 hectares of wildflower-rich habitat. So this map here shows our project area, and the beeline runs from Dunkeld eastwards across to Montrose. So we're going to be looking to run various different activities and create the habitat within this corridor. But we're also going to be looking to work with communities in Blairgowrie and Rattray, Ailith, Kirriemuir, and also within Brechin. So as I mentioned, throughout the project, we're going to be running various different types of events and workshops, and we've already started running some of these throughout the summer. So we've ran events such as yoga in Wildflower Meadow. We've ran an introduction to pollinating insect workshops, looking at how to carry out flower insect time counts, and I'm going to talk a bit more about that in a second. And also taking part in BioBlitz and doing pollinator surveys as part of that, but also things like gardening for bug workshops. We're going to be running plenty more workshops, so if you'd like to get involved, please get in touch with me directly or keep an eye out on our social media channels as to when the events come up. So one of the things that we're really interested in is encouraging citizen science and monitoring of pollinators within the project area. You can do this by taking part in a flower insect time count as part of the UK Pollinator Monitoring Scheme. This is set up through the Centre for Ecology and Hydrology, and it's really quite simple and accessible for people to get involved with. The counts run from April through till September, and you aim to carry out a count once a month. It's really simple. You set up a quadrat on a target species of flower, and then you watch that patch for 10 minutes and you record the different insects that land within that area. You don't have to break it down to species level. It's more focused on the insect group. So whether you've seen a bumblebee or a solitary bee or a honeybee, for instance, or whether it's something like a beetle or a moth. So you can find out a bit more about this through the POMS website, or you can get in touch with me directly and ask to find out a bit more and find out what training opportunities we have coming up, and to be getting out into the field and learning a bit more about these. Another thing that would be really great and that we're hoping to get people involved with is actually submitting records through iRecord. And we've set up an iRecord activity for Strathmore B line, so we can really see what records are coming in through the project area. So if you have an iRecord account, you can log in and then you simply select activities, browse all activities, Strathmore B lines, and then you select the star under actions to add to my activities, and then any records that you submit to this activity we will be able to see, and again it helps us with gathering that useful data for the project area. And just a quick one to finish up. We've been working with various project partners on this, so just to say a big thank you to them, and we're hopefully going to be running a range of different events with our project partners as well, so hopefully you can get a bit more involved as well. And just to say thank you to our project funders, the National Lottery Heritage Fund and the Ganachie Trust. That's just a quick introduction and hopefully get you encouraged to kind of monitor in the area. If you want to know a bit more and you want to focus on a particular area and get some training, then please get in touch. My email address is there, claire.pumphrey@buglife.org.uk. But thank you, everyone.